Okay, so, hey everyone. I have redone this video about 6 times now because I have been trying to fix things that I thought I did wrong in the last video. I've gotten a little bit of criticism from a few people, but this video I'm just not going to care. A few people told me I didn't sound myself, which, I'm not taking personally, so don't think I'm trying to attack anyone. But I had several people tell me that, and I don't know if it was because I was overly excited or maybe my accent is fading. It's a possibility, I don't know. Also, I said whatever like 1,000 times in the last video. I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to do that this time, but if it happens, whatever. So, I apologize for the way I look right now. I do not have any makeup on. I will try to not take up too much of your time because I got like 3 minutes into the last video before I decided that I was going to redo it. So I'm trying to talk as normal and calm as possible so that I sound like myself. But if I don't, I'm done trying, okay? So I'm sorry if I don't, but it is what it is. So, yeah, Wednesday class got canceled due to some family emergency with the professor. Thursday I did go to class. It was a lecture, and we were in this humongous lecture theater, like the kinds you would see in the movies, the huge, like steps, like you go down a bunch of steps. I don't know how to explain it. There's like several chairs and like this kind of like semicircle type thing with like a bunch of levels, and it's just the kind of like desk that you'd like pull out from beside the chair, and it's only big enough for like a laptop or a notebook. And I thought that that was interesting because I never went to one of those at University of South Alabama. It was always classroom settings, sitting in actual desks. But, yeah, I think that's all for that. I did go on another dinner outing with Nan, which you should know by now from reading my blog. That is Jody's mom. Went with her, Jody, and Shane. We went to the club, but it's basically the equivalent of, like, our Wind Creek Casino. There was gambling there, nice restaurants, like, sports bars and pool tables and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I gathered from it. When you hear club, you think like Seville or something, but no, it was more like a casino. And we just went to this nice restaurant inside, and it was actually funny going in because Nan is the member, because you have to be like a Reevesby worker member, because it was the Reevesby Workers Club. And so you have to kind of throw your ID inside this machine at the front, and everybody with that member has to be her guest, and so we have to put our IDs in there, and it rejected mine. It did not recognize an Alabama license or an American license, so he just kind of worked his magic, the worker guy, and was just like, here, if anybody asks you, just explain it to them because I understand. I was just like, okay. But it was a really nice dinner. It was a really nice place. I think that was all for that. I don't think I've said whatever more than once yet. Yay. So yeah, Saturday, I went to Luna Park with this girl named Jennifer. She's a local here. Really cool girl. Yeah, so that was going to be the first time using my GoPro because I'm required to use it for a scholarship at South. And I charged it all night. I woke up, took it off the plug, had the SIM card in it, everything. I was so prepared. I put on sunscreen, Mom. And so we get off the train. We met at Central train station. She came from, like, I think somewhere in Cabramatta. I came from the Reevesby train station. We met at the Central because we had to switch trains. We took that train together. As soon as we got off, she reminded me to pull it out and start recording, so I did. As soon as we got to the huge Luna Park entrance, which you'll see all those pictures in my blog, but as soon as we got to it, I wanted to kind of stop the recording and start it over and do like the Luna Park entrance and then the Harbor Bridge, because you could just turn around and it's right there, and like Opera House is in the distance. So the screen on the GoPro was not working, and I was like, are you kidding me? I don't know what happened in the middle of the night, but it just, I guess, stopped charging, and so it was dead. I was like, wonderful. This is the second adventure I've gone on in Sydney so far where I either didn't bring the GoPro or it died before I could use it. And I was like, this is wonderful. But I remember the guy doing the videos or editing for South, the one that I had to send these to. He told me that if something like that were to happen, I could use my phone, just use it like landscape. So I did that. So after I got over the being annoyed from it being dead, yeah, it was a fun time. And there's just one of the rides that I screamed on, so it was absolutely terrifying. And I have a picture of it in my blog. It is the one that is just like, it's just a straight up, and it's like round, and like everybody gets in the seats. It's just circular, and yeah, it just goes to the top slowly, and then you just free fall. And we have stuff like that locally, and like at the Pensacola Fair, I think, but they're not near as tall as this one. And apparently there's one in Queensland that's even taller, but no thank you, because that was the first time on one that tall. There is a picture of it. I think I've already said that, sorry. But yeah, so that was terrifying. That was really the only thing. They did have a haunted house there. Apparently it's new. But I was so busy laughing at Jennifer being so terrified that I was not scared at all, and we went through it twice. So it was a good time. It was fun. I think that's all for that. Afterwards, we did take a ferry. We were hungry when it came dinner time, and there was a McDonald's, but you had to take a ferry to get to it, which I didn't mind because I hadn't been on one, so I was like, yeah, let's do it. So on the ferry, you like go under Sydney Harbor Bridge, and like it was nighttime by this time, so everything was lit up and it was so pretty, and you could see Luna Park in the distance, and you were getting closer to like the Opera House, and the view was nice, the wind was nice, and so we get there, we ate at McDonald's, which by the way is much nicer here. And then we walked to the Opera House, and yeah, we just kind of took pictures, and I just kind of took it in because it's just so big and it's such like a famous thing. So that was fun. It was a fun day. I think that's all for that. Sunday I did go to church. The last 2 Sundays, to be completely honest, I haven't. There's no excuse, so I'm just not even going to go there, but things have come up, and I have been trying, and I finally did this past Sunday. I got a train. Jody actually came with me to Bondi. It's not the church, but anyways, so she came with me on the trains, just to remind me how to get there when I do go by myself. And yeah, I walk in, and like as soon as I walk in the door, I'm greeted and asked about where I'm from, what's my name, stuff like that. It was really nice, and it was really small, which isn't a bad thing because it reminded me of home, because my church community back home is kind of small. They were all really nice people, and there was actually a lot of visitors from America, but all of them from Texas, so at least we share like a little bit of a slang. And yeah, this girl approached me and said she had lived here for 6 years. She's from Houston, Texas, which is where I actually flew out from, and she asked me if I grew up Church of Christ, which of course I said yes, and she said, awesome, so did I when I got here. She just kind of gave me like the similarities and differences. Like, it's not going to be the same, but it's definitely going to make you feel at home. You're going to notice some of the hymns are the same, some of them aren't. It's just a really great place to be, and it made me feel welcomed. It made me feel like I wasn't a visitor, wasn't an outsider, and it was good to have someone from homeland in the same church as me, which is it was a real coincidence because there's a lot of churches here. So yeah, that was nice, and we exchanged contact information because apparently her and some of the other girls or younger community in the church get together on Thursday afternoons for dinner, so maybe that's something that I start doing. And then after church, more people greeted me, and then I went home and stuff. Me and Jody, before we went home, since we were already in Bondi, we went and ate at this little burger place right across from Bondi Beach. So we sat outside under this little, whatever you want to call it, that like gave us shade so we wouldn't be like burning up. And yeah, we just ate and had a nice view of Bondi Beach. That was nice. Then we just kind of came home and relaxed for the rest of the day. That is pretty much it to catch you up. Tonight the plan is to go to a pub in Padstow with Jody, Shane, Nan. It's her birthday today. That's where she wanted to go. So that's what we're doing, and I'm not sure who all else is coming. I'm assuming Nathan is coming, maybe Alex, I'm not sure. But anyways, that's the plan for tonight. I'm sure I'll end up telling you how that went in the next vlog, however far away that is from today. The last thing I wanted to mention is the differences in schools. I've had people ask me what all the differences are, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it's a lot to type out, so I might as well, just say it in my blog, vlog, whatever you want to call it. So the grading system here is completely different. I can't remember exactly. I know that, well, you already know what America's is. It's like, 0 to 59 is a fail, and then we have D, C, B, A. But theirs is not like that. They have like a fail, pass, credit, distinction, and high distinction. And even those aren't the same like number ranges as ours. Like high distinction is like 85 to 100, whereas an 85 in America would be considered a B, or distinction. So that's different. The credit hours here are different. 3 credit hours back home is 10 credit hours here. And all those 3 hours are in one day, whereas back home you would have 1.5 on this day, 1.5 on this day. So that's a lot of information in one day, and it is exhausting. I've already had to do a 3-hour day. It is exhausting. What were the other differences? I think maybe the last difference, I can't really remember, is the weight of your grade. I've noticed from looking at every syllabus, which is a learning guide here, I've noticed from every learning guide that I've printed out that their weight is dependent on usually just 3 things. Whereas back home you would have quizzes, assignments, tests, homework, attendance. It'd be several different things accounting for your grade. So if you miss a class and you miss an attendance point, or if you miss like an assignment, you're not going to fail. Here, if you miss one of the 3 things, because it's only 3 things that you're getting graded for your overall grade, if you miss one of those, you're going to fail the class. So you have to do all of them. But they're huge things. For example, the only class that I've been to this week was yesterday. It was health psychology. We have 3 assessments, and that's going to be our entire class grade. The first one is a 1,500 worded literature review that I do by myself. That's going to count as a huge part of your grade. And then there's a 45-minute group presentation. That is going to be a big part of it. And then the last part of it, I think it's 40% of your grade, is the exam, the final exam. So that would be the biggest differences. I think that's it. Other than that, I would say the things I've noticed would be like attendance. They don't really count attendance, at least not for the lectures. I know the tutorial I went to, I had to check off my name. Another thing I've noticed is I haven't seen a whole lot of extra credit, whereas at South Alabama they offer you a lot of opportunities to get extra credit. And I think those are the only differences. Now that I think about it, I probably could have typed that out, but I think that's all. If not, I will write it down in my notes to talk about next time. And I think that's all. So, yours truly.